Hey folks, welcome back. We are still in the industrial era as the Germans on turn 184 here. And as you can see, we have made our way onto a new continent. Last time around, we wrapped up a war against Red that we were an inch away from losing, really. They had a nice war declaration on me in the early modern era. That brought me down to very low war support due to the placate mechanic. But thankfully I managed to pull it back, and now I've conquered quite a few territories over here. And, of course, my main continent is secure, so we're going to try to wrap up the industrial era here, go on into the contemporary, and finally win the game. I think the question is how quickly I can do it at this point. I don't think there's too much of a chance that they manage to catch up to me. So I was thinking it might be quicker to vassalize people, but I noticed in the doctrines that on the geopolitical axis here, there's going to be a new effect enabled at turn 197, which is minus 50 war support equilibrium value. So it's going to make it a lot harder to actually declare war on people without a lot of grievances. So it might be faster to just go for a science victory. So I'm going to just start queuing up a few things in my cities here. I've got some open spots that I kind of need to fill in. So we're less worried strictly about what's the word I'm looking for at this point? Fame. I do like to try to maximize it, but I don't think there's too much cause to try to do that at this point. I'm already 4,000-ish ahead of the nearest player. Can definitely get more fame, but I think I am just going for the win. So let's get that. We are just positioning our units. And I bought this elephant because it was a cheap unit to buy. And I want to get this guy out of my territory here. Oh, interesting. Okay. But I bought this elephant because I want to pillage this city here, because I don't actually need it, and it would be very expensive to absorb, and I'm not interested in spending that amount of influence. I am going to attach this territory right here. I'm also going to move these units out of the queue. They're not really that important at the moment. And Osur, I'm also going to attach some territory. I can attach both of these. These were attached before I took over the city, so happy to bring those back into the fold. And I'm going to get a couple of the basic infrastructure unreal that they don't have flood irrigation in this city. And I think everything else looks okay. We'll have some stability issues. That is a very strange place to recommend a commons quarter, considering I'm primarily building it for stability. Let's see. Let's make garrison stability here. It's only +5. Let's get this as well. Oh, I didn't mean to buy that coking works, but oh well. Oh, we don't even have the stability infrastructure either. And 45 stability from City Watch. Okay. Yeah, that should take care of that issue for the time being. Let's take a look at some of our other cities. Good with you idling. You are going to go grab that up there. Oh, and hopefully those guys don't kill us. Okay. And all these units are just hanging out until our inevitable war. Well, next time around at least. These units are coming over to reinforce. Which has some artillery. I am also going to buy another envoy, because there are quite a few grievances that are just sitting around. So we want to try to make sure we get some of those, and hopefully maybe get a star there. Okay, so pretty full up on the queue here. I think that's fine for now. I'm running low on stability again. Don't really have a solution for it at the moment, not a good one. I could start building garrisons. I probably should get a couple. Let's at least get one. We'll have it come in after that infrastructure. And then over here, I was looking at this before, and I'm going to get the printing house. That'll give me a couple extra research slots. And money's not quite as important. I do want to get the fishery, because that'll get me access to another infrastructure that'll get me a lot of food from the harbors here. Because I do have this natural wonder in this city, which is also increasing the amount that I'm getting from the harbors, or maybe just one of the two. So that'll be nice. And over here, I only have the one harbor. That queue looks okay. That queue is pretty full. Okay, Mykonos. I do think harbor might be nice in here. I am running low on food, so let's plop that down. That one's not quite as good. And yeah, some industry. Might want to get the taxation office. Okay, should be good for now. Got something here. Yeah, we're going to make the demands for more war support here. We will probably go to war again pretty quickly if we can. We're going to try as many avenues as we can to getting the victory relatively quickly. Whether that is through domination of other empires or something else. I also forgot that I could trade with these guys now, since they are independent. Let's go ahead and buy all that ebony. Go ahead and buy that incense. That'll help my stability a little bit as well. Get that guy out of there. Alright, and we can go for that there. Just moving the envoys around, not much to see there. The Radiscan Regata, they can kind of come around and hang out. I'm actually thinking I might want to start putting my units on top. Whoop, did not mean to do that. I want to start putting my units on top of the leverage so they can't grab it with their envoys. There we go. And I am going to start looking at going out to the next era soon. I do generally like to wait till I get most of the stars that are available, which I will probably still do because it's hard to get away from that mindset of maximizing fame. And I do still have a decent bit left to go on science, but I am thinking about taking a scientific culture coming up next. Okay, they got one of these leverage items. Still need another little bit of leverage to get a star. I feel like I had a couple that spawned over on this continent. Maybe I got them already. Idle, okay. Alright, go ahead and plop a new outpost down there. And I'm going to let you auto-explore. Okay, over here in Sapar. So this whale fishing will get me a decent bit of food. And the fertilizer plant as well. Actually, I'm going to grab that high furnace. 22 Pawnee is not bad. I think I just need to get some more districts, though. I'm going to keep going on that side, so I'm just going to buy a couple since I have the gold for it. And Babylon food is still fine. Just taking a look at how much money I actually get from some of these things. I don't think this infrastructure is really worth the time investment to build those. So I am just going to continue with science quarters. Okay, and here, so good. Mykonos, still doing okay. Kerma, running a little short. It's not a bad harbor there. I'm starting to run out, kind of room to build things. But I'm going to start filling in some of these slots up here with research quarters. And we'll probably want to get some of this infrastructure as well. Okay, looks good. Okay, got several era stars that turn. Okay, got our money star, got our double aesthete star, so we need 5 more techs for a scientist star. Now, this is honestly a great idea, and I'm surprised I hadn't thought of it before, which is just sitting on top of these leverages with stealth units and just letting the AI come in and kill their envoys on those units. I should start doing that in the future. Let's see. Let's go for the extra science. Also, while I'm at it, so I have the unbelievers here. I'm going to grab this banished population, and that'll give me an extra bit of combat strength. But I'm also hoping that I can start affecting this geopolitical stuff here, so that I'm not going to. It's not going to become harder for me to declare war when I need it. Okay, I could declare war on Orange soon. They're still only in the early modern. Like, if I could get a really quick vassalization on them, that would be quite nice. Oops. Okay, researching electricity into urban planning, so that'll get me one more city cap. Get me the police force as well, which will be nice for stability. And then probably just grab wireless technology and aeronautics. Nationhood is decent because it gets you the conscripts. Encyclopedia is also something I should get. Actually, I'm going to grab it before I grab these two, because the academy is going to be quite good for getting my science up in a few of the cities where I have the research quarters. I kind of forgot about this game for some reason. Okay, so this reinforcing army is now here, so let's just do some upgrades, and we'll just keep upgrading them piecemeal. Now, this guy's going to head up towards this leverage. Okay. Yeah, I am going to go for some quick wars here, I think. Keep things interesting. Yeah, look at this. They're all, like, swarming over here. Thankfully, I can move past them. Let's just grab that leverage quick. I need a declaration of war, even though they're in my territory. Interesting. That's fine. Okay. I feel like normally you can still make that attack. So I think the way I'm going to plan to do this is hit what I'll declare on black and on orange at the same time. I'm going to give it one more turn to get all my units into position. And Asur is going to need another coking works there. Oh, I can get even another one. Oh my gosh, okay. I can get way more than I thought I could. Let's see, 228 industry from Sawmill? Yeah, let's grab that first. And now that I have access to that, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the conveyor belt is also quite efficient. It's hard to say no to those. Okay, Babylon. Yeah, 144 from the sawmill, 68 from the conveyor belt. This will be good to... I'm just going to grab those. Just nice, efficient infrastructure. I think I'm just going to add them into all of my cities, to be honest. Maybe not the conveyor belt here, but the factory will be good. Yeah, conveyor belt is very good there. Can I not get... because I don't have the lumberyard, because it just didn't give me that much industry in that city. So I have to build the lumberyard first. Okay. Yeah, all that stuff is worth it. I'm actually going to deprioritize it in here, let it finish up some of that infrastructure first. Same thing here. That order's fine. Whereas up here, I want to get the... Whoops, I added one too many there. Oh no, it's fine to get that, actually. I'm going to bring a couple of these up front and work on those first. Okay, and down here, I'm going to upgrade the musketeers to line infantry, just because I really want them to have the ability to move and fire. Makes them so much easier to use. Whereas the mortars, just, you know, they're not as combat effective if they have lower combat strength, obviously. But in the grand scheme of things, still be useful even if I do not upgrade them as indirect fire units. Man, my units are so painfully slow. I'm so used to having the extra move speed from my religion. Makes it kind of difficult to get used to this stuff. I'm absolutely not doing that, thank you. Alright, what's a good spot for the U-boats? Maybe down here? This guy can just come back and hang out in Corral. And let's make sure we're getting all this stuff. I'm going to do that one first. Conveyor belt is not as important in Corral. Okay.
Lightning in a...
That is electricity, which I'm the first to research. So that'll give me some extra outputs. I mean, this tech used to be insane, but it gives me some extra outputs on coal deposits. Where is it? Oh, no. Here it is. So on coal, you get plus 10 food, industry, money, and science. So it's not a huge buff, but it is like a nice little buff to get some extra outputs. But it used to be the main way that you scaled up your outputs, is just researching that tech, which I'm glad they changed because it was pretty wild. Okay, let's just get my envoy out of here. See, this is a game where I should actually consider getting some railroads because my units are so slow. I'm used to having much higher move speed, which kind of eliminates the need for other ways of augmenting movement. Could also start getting the coal plants. I feel like investment in science might pay off a little bit more at this point. I mean, I'm starting to get a lot of these things done already, so my industry is already quite high in some of these cities. And I'll just buy that. Just buying out some of the cheaper options here. And then I should get the academy, at least in these two cities, because it is going to get me a fair bit of science. Whereas some of these other cities, it's not as valuable, but I am still going to get some of the basic infrastructure for some of these, at least where there's a shorter queue. Okay. Okay, so the black player has been vassalized again, which kind of throws my plans off. So my war would be against orange, which is still fine. I can't really declare war on these guys yet. It's taking a little bit of time to build up war support. Have any more grievances floating around that I can pick up? Doesn't look like it. Let's just keep the envoy over here. Let's bring these guys down here and they can maybe scout out the train a little bit before a war deck. Let's upgrade my artillery. Okay, so the Impy there. Those will actually be a little bit challenging with only line infantry. Impy are pretty strong units, especially when enemy players are playing defensively. Okay, I really hate when the AI run around in your territory with these units, so I'm going to grab a line infantry and go after them. Because I hate this stuff. They get really annoying. Also give me some war support. So I'm considering, like, maybe I should actually go ahead and try to declare war on these guys first. Oh. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So this might open up some other options for me here. Because if I were to declare war on both of these players at the same time, I could just march into Nineveh while it's undefended and take it over without any real action on my part. So I can propose an option here. Also, I forgot I was forcibly changed on this. I'm going to cancel plundered wages and enact paid wages. And that'll give me some extra stability on my garrisons, as well as have a higher base stability when I conquer enemy cities. Do I have enough army to fight both of them? I don't know if I do. I feel like I would need at least one more army to really take on both of these players at the same time. Okay, let's... Wow, no one else has the Civic? That's kind of weird. I only want to propose one that I know that I'll win. I pretty much have the opposite choice of everyone at all times. So I'm just going to take one that pretty much everyone has. Though it'd be kind of nice if this one got changed. I would be fine if we got free arts, which is what I'm going to go for. Okay. Skip there. All right. Okay. So, a couple more texts to go. Do I care about nationhood that much? Because I can just skip it. Need 2 more texts here. Okay, children's rights. Get extra worker slots or extra researchers. I'm going to go extra research slots, because I am going to focus a lot on science from this point. And tech. Yeah, let's just get the last 2 that we need before going into the next era. I don't know, I actually... Yeah, I guess I technically have 2 armies here, right? Because I have the... I wasn't thinking about this as an army, but they do have 50 combat strength, and they can move and fire. So they're not that much worse than line infantry. Especially if they're only running around with, you know, musketeers or something. Yeah, they're still in the early modern, but as the just on. I don't know, I feel like... yeah, let's do this. So I think that group of line infantry will be fine. I'm a little more worried about this group because I don't have as much of a front line, but I'm hoping this artillery corps can just kind of smash everything. I can't actually attack there. I thought that was the city, so I guess I'll just go over here. Oh, that's... I can't attack that either. Interesting. Can I not attack with, like, cities with these units? I don't use them very much, so... yeah, I suppose that kind of makes sense, because... Oh, come on! Really? So this is going to cut down on my movement, so I won't be able to attack the city this turn now. I mean, there's no path to this destination. This is very silly. Yeah, so now I can't move this guy at all because some random rebels attacked me. Okay, but now that these guys have been revealed, I can actually attack the city. Alright. Fair enough. I'm fine with making that trade-off. Okay. Make sure we're positioned on the high ground there. All these units can kind of be in back. Alright. I'm going to functionally treat the Radiscan Regata as line infantry for the purposes of this fight. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Let's hit that guy. Can he hit anyone? No. Okay, I guess let's just move them down there. Nice, that gives me line of sight. Yeah, they both have line of sight. Okay, we'll move them there so they can shoot someone. Can I kill them? Potentially. Nice, okay. On that round, and then in the meantime... Oh, interesting. Okay, well, let's just declare that war. I guess they pieced out already, but I need to do that in order to start moving through this territory. So, just get it over with. And there's some leverage there. Hopefully I can manage to nab that. Okay, so I've taken Thebes. Get that plus 10 war supports. I find it very funny that you can keep spawning gladiators, quote unquote, this late in the game. Just put you on auto explore. I don't want to micromanage that. And up here, I'm just going to instant resolve. They'll get some more support, but not nearly as much as they would get as if I retreated and then they won that battle again. Okay. So Sultaninois down here. Guess we push up towards Memphis. Quite nice that these guys have high base movements, actually. I am warming up a lot more to the stealth units in this run. Come on. Chief and I. Okay, nice. Oh, that was it. Okay, they only had 3 population. Great, so we'll enact that. So that'll make stability change faster, which is what I prefer. I like it when I gain stability fast. You do lose stability faster as well with that civic, but that's usually not a problem for me. The main reason I like that one is so that when I take over cities, I get stability faster so that I can start building quarters in those cities faster. So I'm moving away from specialization in this city where I had been focusing on money previously. I feel like I'm a little underinvested in science at the moment. I'm going to prefer the extra plus 10% industry, so I'll grab this plus 1 stability on Maker's Quarters. Alright. Okay, don't need to worry about them. Okay, up here. That would be good to kill that army. Also be good to grab that leverage there. I do have one of the leverage stars this era, amazingly. And let's see. Yeah, let's just go for the knockout punch on orange first, and then I can dedicate resources to hitting the other player. Oh, interesting. This should still be fine, but not ideal. Didn't think they'd be able to reinforce. They're gonna have high ground up there. Okay. We need to see if there's a way to win this in one round before they bring those reinforcements in. I'm attacking, so if I can just get to the flag, I would be fine. Dragoons will be a problem. That's all I can really do. I wasn't expecting that army to be reinforced. Well, my army up there would be cut out. I think this one should be fine to make that attack. Okay. Thankfully I do have dug in. I lost the envoys, of course, but that's fine. Let's go these line infantry. I'm now just relying on dug in, basically, to keep me fortified. Okay. Trade luxuries. Sure, I'm fine with that for now. I'm going to declare war on you later, but... Okay, and over here. Production queue is done. Let's just grab the fishery fast. That would open up whale fishing. Also grab the manufactory, and then let's grab the science infrastructure. Okay, back over to this fight. This guy's low. Okay. Let's get these units to positions where they will actually be useful. And then here, I think it might actually make sense to bring the low health unit here. Should be far enough away that they won't be harassed by the units up on the ridge here. Really unfortunate that I'm just like deployed on river with all of these units. But that should be it. Great. So I only lost an envoy there, because it just got caught in the fight, so no big deal. This will also weaken these forces here. So I know this looks like a very unbalanced fight, but most of these units are not a particular threat to me, especially since I can just kind of camp behind these walls and have relatively high-tech units. So I'm going to take this assault right out the gate. I could play more conservatively and only use units behind the walls, which I think I'm going to do, just in case. These guys are not behind walls. Let's get you in there. So I'm not going to be as efficient with my shots, but I am going to be very efficient defensively, since they'll have much less relative combat strength, since I'll have a defensive bonus from walls here. Actually, this looks like it was walled, but I guess it was not. I thought that was a district when I put my units, so no big deal, but... I should have employed a different strategy if I had been reading the map correctly. Okay. So, they suicided most of their units into that one unit there. Okay, and yeah, already out of movement there. Okay, I'll probably have to retreat with those guys. I'm gonna kill them, then I can move in the city here. Kill those line infantry. Move them out. Oh, let's see, this guy has dug in. So I finally have that tech. That's why it's taken so long to kill those musketeers. That explains a lot. So it's a good thing I have artillery. They're just not where I need them at the moment. They are somewhere else. Yeah, I don't need those wonders. I'm going to move you even farther back, just in case anyone has a shot on you. I might have to pull them up again for a little bit of fire support, but I think I'll be okay with the units that I have currently available. Okay. See, how am I on tech? 2 more turns for aeronautics. Then can hit the age up button. interesting attack here. Let's move in, whack those line infantry. Maybe. Okay, nice. Muskets are dead, so they just have one set of musketeers left, so that should not be an issue to deal with. And down here, we're just going to thwack this guy with a bunch of artillery. Great. Alright, so war resolution. So they're just offering to become a vassal. Which is, I think, basically just what I want. I don't need to take any of their cities. So I'm going to accept that. These armies should not have trespassing with a vassal, right? I'm hoping that resolves next turn. Alright. Can attack this city now since I'm at war here. Just gonna get them off the river there. They're pretty low health. Don't want to risk them suiciding all their units into that one. Since the AI do love to do that. 22 production is not bad. I'm actually not entirely sure what I'm getting that production from on the farmers. 40 production there is also good, but I have a ton of production here already. Let's get the science infrastructure. I feel like, let's see. Let's just keep going on money in here. I do need a decent money supply for the next era. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. The trespassing fixed itself. Oh, I'm now at war with Black, who has been vassalized. Man, they need to stop vassalizing all these players. It's getting really annoying. Just setting up the front line, put the artillery on high ground behind. Artillery still does get bonuses from high ground, so to the extent you can have them elevated, it is quite nice. Thankfully, those units are not particularly dangerous to me. I'm at war with that player there. Go ahead and make that attack. And up here, maybe push for that smaller city. It's unlikely that we'll be able to defend itself particularly well. Alright, let's grab Carbine, and who did they take? The Soviets. Interesting. That will make it a little bit harder to beat them. So basically, I'll want to be able to... Let's make sure we... Okay, they don't have any real dug-in. I want to be able to kill them in this war and get them to vassalize and wrap up the game really quickly, or I'll probably want to go for a science victory because it'll become effectively impossible to assault the Soviets if they have enough time to build up their arms factories. Unless I, like, take the Americans or something. Okay. So, speaking of cultures, I'm going to give this a quick save, because sometimes I change my mind, especially if I'm picking in the middle of an episode. So, I was at least thinking, like, the Japanese, I do play them all the time. I actually think that, I mean, they're good in most cases. I think the Swedes could also be an option here, because I do have a lot of districts already, and quite a few research quarters, and the Research Institute gives me a huge benefit to the amount of science that I would create based on the number of districts that I have. There's also the option of taking the Americans for the defense agency. I don't know if I have enough existing artillery to take huge advantage of that. I could get like airstrikes and get those up pretty quickly by purchasing, and that would allow me to vassalize people pretty quickly. So all decent options. I think I'm going to take the safe option and go for the Swedes here, just because I take the Japanese all the time. So let's grab the Swedes, and we'll finish up these fights. Okay, I'm going to get that artillery out of there. They've taken a fair bit of damage already. Where can I go that he can shoot? Man, I really am missing that +1 move speed on my religion. It's such a good, good religious tenet. Like, it's so hard to not pick it. Like, it pains me to not take that one in games where I don't take it. Okay. Alright, let's end the era. They have a ton of war support still. Okay, we're gonna have to just knock all their stuff out. Forgot about these guys down here. I could just like blow up half their city, but that doesn't seem necessary. They don't have any real defenses here. And let's see if they come out to vision range. Otherwise I'll have to pull in these units. And in a fun twist, I can actually use the support here if I really wanted to, but that's not necessary, since I can just one-shot here. And then that is a full army there. So I'm going to grab that research quarter in the queue, but I'm also just going to get a small army here to make sure I can defend appropriately against that. It's a fairly dangerous army, honestly. Just grab one more line of infantry just in case. And then down here, let's make a move towards Warsaw again. Okay. Huh. Funny, I forgot that those units would be counted as reinforcements, because they can only deploy on 3 tiles here. So I had a second where I was like, huh, do they have more defenses than I thought they did? But they do not. Okay. They're at war with Black. Yeah, really weird that I'm being counted as trespassing here. Right. And these wars in the late game really start to span the continents. Like, this is actually like a global war. And I'm not worried about knights coming in behind me. They have such low combat strength relative to my units. just knock out as many as possible. Like, that unit right there is kind of low, so I'd prefer it doesn't die, but yeah, like I said, that knight, 39 combat strength, and my siege artillery is much higher. Okay. That takes care of that. Okay. And down here, I'm going to grab a couple little items that'll make producing army a little bit more efficient. So I should probably get another siege artillery in there. So I'll get another little army. And then as far as tech goes, I think I'm going to beeline for rocket science. So that would unlock aerial warfare for me, which is actually going to be quite helpful. Let's just finish those coking works. I know I didn't finish them in every city, but I'm more worried about trying to end the game at this point, so it's really no big deal. I'm going to grab that aerodrome just so I have like a base to use air units from in case I need them, and I can hopefully creep that forward a bit. Mostly worried about science efficiency here. I have so many of the other outputs that marginal decreases on that don't matter all that much. Okay. And then Babylon, let's just get rid of the rest of those. We'll finish up that one research quarter. And we're going to start putting some more in here. And so far, I already added one. Let's just fill that out. Okay, Rapa. Cancel all that. I'm even going to cancel the coal furnace just so I can work on these earlier. Kerma. Okay, this is a little bit more interesting. I'm still going to get these. Yeah, let's just move these to the front of the queue. They are more efficient than building the other ones. 2, 3, 4, okay. Down here, that queue's almost done anyway, so this will be nice and fast to build these. Alright. Lovely. And you can idle. You can make an attack here. I haven't really given my units any time to heal, which is slightly dangerous. But once I take over the city, I will have that chance, hopefully. Thankfully, I think I've exhausted a lot of their military already. And you can see they're already building arms factories. But now I've taken it over, which is hilarious, so I will be getting the benefits from that. So, as you can see... Oh, maybe it'll take a second to update. So it's +2 from unknown at the moment. But you get that when your unit is supplied, so basically when you're in your own territory is when you'll see the benefits of that particular emblematic quarter / the unique luxury that it produces. It's kind of a misnomer to call arms a luxury in some ways. Doesn't really have the same vibe as standard luxury in this game, but mechanically it's a luxury. Okay, we're just going to hit them as often as possible wherever we can, because we want to increase their war score as much as possible, which we're doing a pretty good job of at the moment. How the mighty have fallen here. There's a part of me that wishes I went for Americans. Man, look at all these leverages that are popping up. Don't care about stability there. When to start? Oh. Yeah, let's... My main enemy at this point is going to be located up in this direction, so I'm just going to send these guys down here, and they will reinforce this army in going for the city there. I'll bring my subs over as well, just in case they, as well as the steam frigate, just in case they have any units I can take out that are hanging out on the kind of outside edges, and I can use the frigates to bombard as well. Okay. One big city over there. I really wish I had an envoy that I could use. I'm going to just take the liberty of attacking these units, because they will attack me otherwise. You'll notice even these like really easy fights I don't auto-resolve, because the AI tends to take a lot more damage than is actually necessary to win a battle. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way for me to get at that last... Oh, never mind. Okay, there we go. Great. Over here, you all can idle, just so they don't come back and steal that. Okay. So I can start getting an air force. I'm going to buy that aerodrome. I'm going to buy that aluminum mine. And I'm just going to get a couple bombers here. Just buy the first one. And these units will push forward. Man, look at all that leverage. It pains me that I can't get it, but oh well. And down here. Okay. Should be getting pretty close to forcing a surrender here, hopefully. Those units won't be able to start the siege. Just need them to regroup with my other units. Okay. Pull these guys down here. Just see what this area looks like. Okay, this could be interesting. I could have units start inside the siege. Let's just do this. When I mean inside the siege, we're not in the city, but like positioned in between districts in a very unusual way. In terms of combat efficiency, it would actually make sense to not bring these units in if I were looking to just minimize the amount of damage that's going to be done to my units. But I'm actually more interested in just making this battle go as fast as possible, so I'm going to bring them in. It doesn't really matter who I shoot here. And I felt like I was missing an artillery. I guess I moved out a little earlier than I should have. Make sure we get that aluminum. We're going to need that for space race stuff. Let's see. Some up here. Don't think I missed any. Should be good for now. Okay, back down here. There's really nothing that these guys can do. I don't know where that last unit is, but no big deal. So that war support will collapse there. Okay. we can end the war here. Let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, so I can force that. Also force them to give me that right there, which would knock the player out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's their last city. So I am going to do that. Okay. So I've vassalized that player. Oh, I take over all the other vassals too. So actually, I should just win the game here. Kind of a bummer I didn't get to use the bombers. Just going to have everyone wait a turn and see what happens. There we go. All empires are vassalized. Isn't exactly how I expected the game to end. But, you know, you gotta just take the opportunities that are available to you. So, not a bad way to end. Obviously, there's still a lot of fame on the table, still. Like, with all the projects in this age, this could have been, 28, 29k game. It was not to be this game, which is fine. I think this is... I pretty obviously reached the point where I was going to win, so it's a good place to end. Kind of interesting, like this... These strengths aren't the ones that I would have expected from the player that dominated this continent. Plus 20% food on all cities, and reduced attached outpost cost, reduced absorbed city cost, and then some other biases. Obviously, there is like an element of luck that goes into who wins this stuff, right? Like, this one, a lot better. Plus 20% industry on all cities and plus 10 industry on makers' quarters. I would have expected them to do quite a bit better than the red player. But sometimes there's just an element of chance that affects all that stuff. So let's end the game here and just take a peek at the graphs, because I really like when graphs go up. I'm just going to skip that. I'm curious what their fame gain looks like here. Ancient as the Assyrians. Not bad for the AI, honestly. Expansionist, builder. Yeah. Wow, really good classical era for the AI as well. Especially for the Goths. Like, the Goths are a pretty terrible culture. Norsemen doesn't make a lot of sense, but again, a pretty solid era. Good to see that the AI also struggled to get the diplomat stars. Yeah, I mean, overall, right up until whoops, my phone just fell. Right up until I started interfering with them, they were having some pretty decent eras there. So, honestly, somewhat impressed with this particular AI's performance. So let's take a look at the next player, because I'm curious about this one as well, because I feel like they had a pretty decent start, and then just weren't able to capitalize on it. And I wonder if it's like culture choice. Yeah, I mean, Egyptians makes perfect sense, given the bonuses that they have. Classical era as the Celts, yeah, would really help buoy their growth a lot after like a low food start. Yeah, it's... English, yeah, I mean, the longbows, if the AI can take advantage of them, I really feel like this player should have been doing a lot better than they did. Just something about the way the red player played, or the luck, factored into their ability to succeed here. Okay. Take a look at the stats. Obviously the fame, I overtook a little while ago. But look at food. Yeah, I mean... Obviously, that 20% bonus helped a lot, right? Like right here. But did it help as much as extra industry that allows you to produce extra food? I don't think so. Like this, I think this falls off after they were vassalized. So let me take a look at industry here. Yeah, little weird. Like, I feel like that player was ahead in almost every significant regard. But they really fell behind on science. That would explain it a bit. Like, a tech advantage can... This is so unusual. I guess they picked, like, the Joseon or whatever and turned on the city ability. Influence far ahead of them. Population way far ahead of everyone else. Like, their population just could not keep up. Part of that's just because I have more cities. Part of it is just because they're not so good at managing their food outputs. Science, yeah, or research. Yeah, this red player was pretty consistently ahead of the curve by a little bit, though the orange player wasn't that far behind. Not up until, like, turn 100, roughly, did they really start falling behind. Military. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see how this player, like, lost, basically. I mean, they came in third, right? But still, I would have expected a slightly different outcome there. Well, regardless, good game to play. It was nice to see the AI be somewhat more competitive. Might need to find some harder personalities or impose some additional restrictions on myself. I'm thinking about how to do that for my next video. But hoping to make the next one a little bit more interesting. I'd also like to return to Pangea, which I haven't played in a very long time. I've done a lot of consonants games, and it's usually my preference. But I think Pangea presents its own challenges and really emphasizes some cultures that don't get as much play in consonants and are just better on Pangea. So we'll think about that. And hope you'll tune in for that one as well. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this series. Really appreciate you all being here. And I'll see you soon.